The early morning fog hung heavy over the quiet town of Crestwood, a place where everyone knew your name but didn't always know your pain. It was the kind of town that had one grocery store, one post office, and one cafe that opened before the sun even considered rising. David Miller, a 36-year-old single dad, walked through the door of the Corner Brew Cafe as he did every morning after his night shift at Harrison's Auto Garage. The bell above the door jingled as he stepped inside, his work boots leaving a faint trail of water on the linoleum floor. His eyes were sunken with fatigue, his flannel shirt smelled faintly of engine oil, and yet there was a calm steadiness in him, the kind forged from years of quiet sacrifice. He glanced at the clock behind the counter. 6:12 a.m. He had 45 minutes before he needed to wake up his daughter Emily, get her ready for school, and then return for a second shift later that afternoon. David always ordered the same thing. A small black coffee, no sugar, no cream. It was cheap, strong, and honest. Just like him. He handed over 2 crumpled dollar bills to the barista, a college kid named Josh who had memorized his routine. David gave a polite nod and headed to his usual booth near the window, where he could stare out at the sleeping town and pretend, just for a moment, that life was manageable. Then, the bell above the door rang again. In stepped a woman tall, soaked to the bone, with combat boots and a U.S. Navy jacket clinging to her frame. Her hair, a messy bun at the nape of her neck, dripped water onto the tile. Her presence was quiet but commanding, as if the world instinctively knew she had seen more than most ever would. David glanced up briefly. Something about her didn't fit the town. Too sharp. Too alert. She looked like a soldier, but not one on leave, more like one carrying invisible weight no one else could see. She walked to the counter, placed an order for a coffee and an egg sandwich, and reached into her pocket for her wallet. That's when it happened. "Sorry, ma'am," Josh said awkwardly. "Your card's been declined." The woman blinked. That can't be right. He tried again. Same result. David, watching quietly from his booth, stood and walked over. Without saying much, he slid his card across the counter. "Add hers to mine." The woman turned sharply. "Sir, that's not necessary." David offered a tired smile. "It's just a coffee. You look like you've earned more than that." She hesitated for a moment. Then gave a small nod. "Thank you." Josh handed her the receipt, and she stepped aside, clutching the hot cup as if it were the first warmth she'd felt in weeks. David returned to his booth, expecting the interaction to end there. But a few minutes later, the woman walked over. "Mind if I sit?" she asked. He gestured to the empty seat. "It's all yours." She slid in, her eyes scanning the cafe with the instinctive caution of someone who had been in places where danger was never far.